and welcome to FemLogic AI, where we show you how to automate and save time so that you can use that time to free up and do things that bring you joy. So stay with us today. We're going to show you something really cool I learned recently on how ChatGPT. I know that you guys have done this before. I've spent a large, we're at the end of the year and we've spent a lot of time in boardrooms planning with whiteboards and all this stuff. So I learned how you could take that whiteboard and make ChatGPT do a large chunk of the work for you and make it all pretty, because we've all taken our phones out, taken all these pictures, right? And then, zoom, trying to figure out what the pictures are. I'm going to show you today how you can make that much, much easier and a much prettier design. So stick with me and we'll get there. All right, so let's get started. So we've got our trusty ChatGPT here that we're gonna look at here, but I'm gonna show you the images first. So this dashboard guy right here. So when you're looking at this, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. Let me make it a little bigger for you. When you're looking at this, as you can see, when I took the picture, it's lopsided. I did that intentionally because I want to show you how I can make ChatGPT do all the corrections for me. So I know on my phone, a lot of times I'll just rotate, we get it all fixed, but it does bug me when it does this. So for right now, I've got just a generic drawing of what the dashboard looks like. And so when I'm doing projects, I like to start with what the end project looks like. What information do you want to get out of your data? What does the end result look like? And then we'll work backwards from there and make sure we have the data and make sure we're collecting it the way we need to. So let's start with the dashboard first, and I'll show you how I get that done. All right, so we're in our ChatGPT. So first we're going to do is upload that image that we've got here, and I just put them in my downloads folder because I don't intend to have them for a super long time. And I'm just going to grab it right here. And then I'm going to say, all right, build a dashboard using the image, use blue and white colors. And let's just see what it does with that very simple thing. I'm going to say you are an analyst. You know what? I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to see what it does with just that. So a lot of times I just do this. I load the image, I take a picture, I load the image, I do it in the app, and then I, from the thing, and then I let it do its thing. And so I let it come up with what's it going to do, what's it say, it's going to look like. Now, clearly, we're going to have to make some adjustments, but, I'd like to know what it thinks. Like, it's got the idea here. So this is a dashboard that I'm building for a silent auction we're having for the Nashville Technology Council's foundation to send kids from underserved communities to camp. Technology camp specifically. And so what we want to do is kind of highlight where we are with donations versus where we are with what we need. And so that's what this dashboard is. So this is something that is very useful to me at this time. So while it's analyzing, and as you can tell, it does take a minute to analyze all this stuff and go through, but it does give pretty good results. And so I really love the whiteboard thing. I feel like a lot of times the whiteboard images just live on my phone, and then I try to, decipher them later. And so now I have an actual something I can look at, which is considerably more professional. Now, there is also a way to connect this, if you wanted to, with Zapier to make it automatically then send out to everybody that was at the meeting. So we'll do another video on that. So how impressed would they be if, you show up and then less than a minute after you leave the meeting, you get like a very pretty graphic. And so it's still thinking. And so let's see, there it goes. It says it's created a dashboard based on the layout of the image. And so it's doesn't have any data, as you know, so you're going to have to go through here and let's see what it says. All right, it's downloading the file. Let's open it up, dashboard blue and white. Okay. So not a bad dashboard. I would like it to be a little more professional looking, but it did pull all the categories and everything that I had in there. So it has my ambassadors on here, the companies represented, the silent auction needs, the items by category, So it's got needs. And so it broke it down. So it definitely not a 100%, exactly what I had written. It's pretty darn good. And so I played around with this a little bit and with some other images too. And so I want to show you, because this is another thing that, we get a lot of. I'm sure you all do as well. So in a nutshell, that's what it can do for the, if you're looking at it for the dashboard design. So I'm going to say make the dashboard more professional and give me a table all the fields I will need. And so this is where I think it gets really useful. So yeah, it's one thing to create an image. It's another thing to say, okay, now I want to build that. What fields do I need? And so I use this as a starting point because, you know, when you're collecting user information, you need like first name, last name, email, stuff like that for customers. So, but just to have a list, a table, and have it automatically pull all that information out, super useful. And you can just copy and paste it into an Excel, or you can have ChatGPT just give you a CSV file that you can just open it up. And if you want to save it as a Google or, Microsoft, whatever your choice item is there. And so it's analyzing. And so as you can tell, the analyzer does take a minute. And I really mean like a minute, maybe a minute and a half. So, really significantly faster than it would take me. Like if I'm looking at this, and even if I'm just typing them in one after another, it's a challenge. And so it is building me a better image. So I do find it interesting that it is building me a actual image here, and it's using the analyzer. So it's using both of those things at the same time. So DALL-E 3 is being enacted, I believe, in the background. Now, I did ask it at one point if it could build me the dashboard in Power BI, since I know that Microsoft is a big contributor into OpenAI, who owns ChatGPT, and so it was not able to do that. But it did give me step-by-step instructions. So I got an error there. So, so what I will do here is I'm going to say, it's reanalyzing. So I'll stop here and we'll come back. All right, so we are back, and I went ahead and recreated it just a little bit because it messed up on me. I just loaded the image again, but this time I put in build a dashboard using the image, use blue and white colors, and make the design professional with the title of NTC Silent Auction. Also give me a table of the fields I will need to create the dashboard. So I did all in one step this time. So here is the image it gave me, and so it's downloading the file. Let's see what we've got here. Again, we've got this. Still, the same thing we had before. I do like how it's a progress bar. I would have done it as, an arched tachometer type thing, but, like this gives me a good idea of what it could look like. And so much nicer than my little scribble that I've got going on there. And so let me go back over to ChatGPT. And then when we scroll down here to ChatGPT, and I said, I want to know what are the fields. And so it says, here's the sections. So for each of those sections, it gave me a list of, here's the data type is the percentage. It's a bar chart. It said, companies represented, bar chart. Again, it has no data in the background. It just has my image. And so this is really useful to me, because a lot of times I get, back when I was an analyst, I would get things almost handed on a napkin, like people scribble something out and they're like, can you build this? And so this would have been tremendously helpful. So that is the dashboard piece in a nutshell. And now I want to show you a workflow and how it does that, because I think that's probably where I use it the most, is when those things come. So just a moment. All right, so the second one I want to show you is, this is like a workflow. And so I've just drawn a generic workflow here. Ticket, CRM, goes to a business approver, a finance approver, goes into the system, and then it comes back. And so in my little drawing here, they're all feeding into Power BI, which if you haven't learned yet, I am a big fan of Microsoft and all their tools. So I like how they all connect and integrate really well. So let's see if we can get this into ChatGPT. So we're going to go over here to ChatGPT, and I've already loaded the image here, and I put, make this into a better, more professional image of my whiteboard drawing. And so again, I would do this on the phone, on the app. I would just take a picture of it and like load it into the app. And so it's tremendously easy. So let me, it's got an error. So let me get that fixed and we'll come back. Okay, so we are back, and I wanted to show you it did finish, and it did a really great job with this one, which is way more than I would have done. It actually went through and it said, okay, I see what you've got. It drew out the pieces. The only thing it left out was the CRM. So I could, fiddle with it and say, put that in, but I thought this was really cool. So as you can see, my drawing was rough, like as most whiteboard drawings are. And then we've got this, look at this. You've got your power report. You've got everything going into a centralized reporting. And so I like that. You got your ticketing system here. Now this is a little busy and there's a lot going on. So we've got your approval You know, like you've got your approval here. You've got, and some of this is, it probably couldn't read my writing very well, but I do like how it says it's like the business, you know, users here. Now I spelled some things wrong, but you know, we can fiddle with this and get this graphic better, but that's way better than my little scribble that I've got going on the whiteboard. But you can see the potential here and what you can do with it. So I think it's really cool. Well, thanks for being with us today, and I hope you enjoyed what we had to show you about how you can take pictures of your whiteboard and have those converted into ChatGPT, can make them into nice, pretty images, and we can also get them to ChatGPT to tell us fields that we might need and, you know, action items and things like that. So you can see where your mind might, you know, be going here. But this is one of the most useful things that I have found recently from the ChatGPT. Like I said, I use the app on the phone. I just take a picture. This is part of the paid version, but and I have not tried this with Gemini yet. So Gemini has a free. So we'll see how that goes if we're in Gemini. So I'll try it on there, and if it works, I'll bring it up. But anyway, I wanted you all to see how this works, because I hope it can save you time so that you can use that time to do things that bring you joy. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.